Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Nshaba and this is Up Close with me, where we get to sit down and talk about life based on my experiences, my perspectives and my lessons with the aim of personal development. So thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really appreciate that you're taking your time to watch this video. I hope you enjoy it and you give it a thumbs up, and please don't leave without subscribing, of course, if you resonate with the content. And to my returning subscribers, thank you guys so much. I just want to emphasize this. I really appreciate you guys so much, and I see you, and I'm very grateful for your continuous support in growing the channel and just watching my video and being interactive. I thank you guys so much. It gives me so much enthusiasm when I think about filming and creating this content. So thank you guys so much. Please keep it up, and please do share, like, comment and leave your thoughts down below so that we can interact going forward. So on today's video, I've just actually just wanted to sit down, do a follow-up on the previous video. If you haven't watched it, please do watch it so that you can connect it well and better with this video. So I didn't really plan much, but I wanted to have a sit down and just talk about mental health in relationships. I did mention on my last video about I did mention how my marriage saved me, and I want to talk a little about that, what I actually meant when I said my marriage saved me from myself. So guys, I want to say that I understand and I appreciate that it's the reality of life that we all have certain behaviors that at some point, at some time, they don't serve us. Okay, so this is not necessarily to say people are crazy or you are crazy. When we mention mental health, we are not saying being mad, being crazy, or being depressed, or being, there are certain behaviors that don't serve us, and those behaviors are actually based on your mental health specifically. So before I got married, I did not think that I needed to heal. Before I got married, I didn't think that I was wounded. Before I got married, I didn't think that there were certain behaviors that I carried with me that might need to be changed, that might need to be altered. Do you understand? So what I meant when I said my marriage actually saved me was exactly that. By getting into this relationship, I got to learn about myself. I got to learn so much of my behaviors that were actually hurtful to other people, that were actually damaging to other people. You know, when they say hurt people, or damaged people, that is exactly what I was. But until I got into this relationship, I didn't know. And that is not to say I was never in a relationship before. I was in relationships. Yes, I was in relationships, as much as that sounds wrong, but I had been in a few relationships before I got into the one that I'm in now. So but though I don't know what the difference was, but somehow in those relationships I never saw the need to heal or to work on myself. For some reason, those relationships didn't reveal the parts of me that needed corrections, that needed to be paid attention to, until this specific one that I'm in right now. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I want to look at relationships in a positive light. As much as relationships can be damaging, they can also be a place where someone actually becomes a better person, where someone actually heals from whatever that they're struggling with. they can be a place where someone actually discovers so much about themselves, where they actually learn about themselves. So I want to focus on the positive parts of relationships as much as there are negatives. I don't want to talk about the negatives today. So getting into this relationship, I had hurts from my previous relationships. I had hurts, I don't know what to call them. That's why I'm calling them hurts, but it was wounds. I think wounds explains them better. But I had wounds from my previous relationships. I had wounds from family, from growing up. I had wounds from being abused, being neglected, being abandoned. I've spoken about this before. I'm going to assume you guys already know what I'm talking about. I had wounds from being sexually assaulted. I had wounds, like I had so many wounds, but I was not aware of them. I was not aware of how deep they were until I got into this relationship, and I started seeing them coming out through behaviors, through my mouth, through words. I literally had to watch all these wounds manifesting themselves in my behaviors. And then it was then when I realized that, Nshabo, you need to heal. You need to heal because, and I believe that came from a point of, I love this person and I'm hurting them so much because of these unhealed wounds, because of these wounds that are not catered for, that were not taken care of. So it came from a place of, you can't continue like this. This person is feeling so much pain because of your wounds, because of your previous pains, because of your previous hurts. So you need to attend to those in order to be better to this person. Okay, so what I'm saying is, I believe that had I not loved this person that much, these wounds would not have been exposed. Had I not wanted and was willing to change for this person, I don't think these wounds would have been exposed. So I believe it came from a place of love, and I believe so many of us in relationships where we love our partners so much, and you know that one thing that your partner is always complaining about you, excuse me, you know that one thing or two things that your partner is always complaining about, that you do or you don't do or you keep on doing, you know. So those are actually your wounds manifesting themselves in your relationship. Those are actually your wounds coming out and saying, we are here and we need your attention. And you are only going to give them attention if you're willing to change for that person, if you are willing to become better and stop hurting them, because the reason why they're complaining about those wounds is because they are hurting them. So they need you to actually try and change them. And I know it when someone is complaining, it does not necessarily sound like you have a wound. It actually, mostly when you're not yet aware that it's actually a problem that you have, it feels like an attack. It feels like this person is being ungrateful. It feels like this person just always wants something from you that you're not able to provide. Do you understand what I mean? It does not always sound like this person wants you to change. It does not always sound like this person is seeing something wrong that is hurting them and they want you to change it. It most of the time sounds like an attack or someone undermining you, or it sounds very bad, to be honest. But I'm making this video so that to bring your attention that maybe that one thing that your partner is always complaining about actually needs your attention. It actually needs you to attend to it, to try and heal it, to try and make it better. So that, I mean, I think we are all in relationships and we are all trying every day to become better partners to our partners. Do you understand? So that's why I sat down today and I wanted to talk about this. So with me, back to my story. There were a few things that he always complained about. And the one thing that I kept on thinking about today when I was thinking about making this video is my feeling pity for myself. I had that stuff as far as I can remember. I think I built that response when I was going through my childhood abuse, which happened, I think, from when I was 7 years. So it started there. I started feeling sorry for myself. I started feeling like I was a victim. And I took that into the relationship. And he always complained about it. And Shabo, you are not always the victim. Sometimes you are the one who is hurting me. And me coming back to complain about it is not to say, is not to hurt you, is not to say you're a bad person, because that is one thing that I would always hide behind and say, you always say I'm a bad person, you don't appreciate anything that I do, you always say there's always something that you must complain about. And yes, there was something to complain about, because I was not being fair. I was always thinking of myself as the victim. Like, even when I was the one hurting him, when he came back to complain, I would be like, you know what, you are being very ungrateful right now and you're hurting my feelings. But because it felt like an attack, I would hide behind, you always think I'm a bad person, you are just always out there to discredit me even when I do something good, you know. But what that meant is that I was not taking responsibility for my actions. I was not ready to confront that part of me that was always just feeling pity for myself, that was always feeling like Nshabo is the victim. Nshabo, everyone is out there to get Nshabo, everyone is out there to hurt Nshabo, you know. But the moment when I realized that I was actually the one on the wrong, I was actually the one, this part of me was actually always hurting this person that I loved so much. So I realized that I need to attend to this. And to come to that realization, guys, honestly, it's very painful to admit that a part of you is very toxic. It's very difficult. It was the most difficult thing that I had to do in this relationship, because it was not me feeling like the victim all the time was not the only problem that there was a lot of issues, mental issues. There was a lot that I was behaving every day and it was hurting the people around me. So to finally sit down and think to myself and admit to myself that, Nshabo, at this point you are the problem and you need to start approaching and confronting those problems. That was very difficult to do. I mean, no one wants to believe that something about them is wrong. Everyone wants to believe that the lives that they're living is the good life, is the best that they can give, it's enough, you know, and we expect people to be satisfied with that, whereas there are things that we can always change. Do you understand? So it was very difficult for me to actually sit down and say, this is something about you that is not really serving to the people around you and it needs to change. And not only is it not serving to the people around you, it's also not serving you, because you are not behaving and performing at your best if you are always going to feel like you are a victim. Okay, it was very difficult. It was it was very hard. It was painful. Mostly I was feeling so much pain to finally realize that about myself, that I'm toxic, you know. But that moment right there, when you finally realize that this is very bad of me, this behavior that I have, this behavior that I carry every day is very bad. That's the moment where the journey to becoming better actually starts. So until you reach that point, there is nothing that's going to change. Until you reach the point where you admit that this is very bad, nothing is going to change. But that's the beauty of it, because once you get to that moment, as painful as it is, then you start working on becoming better. And that is what I'm aiming to achieve with this video, that can we sit down and look at the things that the people around us are always complaining about us. I mean, okay, there are situations where it's true that whatever that people are complaining about is an attack, but most of the times it's actually that the behavior is there and it's not satisfactory to the people around you, it's not serving to the people around you, and that's why they complain about it. Most of the times it's actually true that whatever that they're complaining about is not necessarily good. So can we sit down, guys? Can we sit down and think about this and consider taking a different journey? Consider taking the journey to healing ourselves. Consider taking a journey to addressing all these issues that we think we have, because I believe that the best way to get to know yourself is through other people, is through the people around you. So it's very important to take into consideration what they think about you, especially the people that you care about, the people that you love, the people that you spend most of your time with. It's really important that what they think about you matters. I mean, you need to be able to differentiate between the truth and lies, because what people think about you, it's very tricky, guys. It's very, very tricky, and I think that's why not a lot of people don't even attempt to actually think about them. That's why a lot of people actually live their lives saying, I don't care what people say, I don't care what people think about me. But it's important to care, because it really says a lot about you, especially the people in your circle. It says a lot about you, and if they're being honest, I believe the feedback won't always be positive, because we are human beings. We are not perfect. There are things that we actually get wrong. We hurt other people. We hurt the people that we love. That is human nature. It happens. But it's important that we listen to what other people think about us. It's important that we pay attention to the negative things that the people around us think about us. Do you understand? Because that's why you actually start to become a better person, when you try and address those things that the people think about you. So this is a plea. This is actually a plea to say that relationship that you're in might be your gate to becoming the person that you want to be. The relationship that you are currently in, that person that you are currently in love with right now, that you're currently sharing the love with right now, might be the gateway to you becoming the best version of yourself. And only if you pay attention and you are ready to take on this journey and tackle all these things that don't serve you, and they don't serve your partner or everyone around you who loves you, you know. So yeah, that's actually what I wanted to say on this video. I don't know what I'm gonna title it, because I was literally just saying a lot of things, but I hope you watched until this point, and I hope you got something from this video. Please, 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 let's sit down and try and address our demons. Let's sit down and try and become better partners to our partners. Let's try and sit down and think and consider and admit the things about us that don't serve us, and try and solve them, you guys, and try and address them. There is nothing as amazing as knowing that you are doing your best every day to become a better person. I mean, it feels so good. Like, try it, and you will know one morning when you wake up and you know that today is my day to try and become a better person. Like, when you make every day like that, it feels so good. It feels so good. Even when you look at the person next to you, when you look at your loved one, and you know that your intentions every day are to become a better person for them, it makes you feel very good. And I'm sure it also makes them feel very good when they know that you're working on yourself so that they can have the best vision of you. So that is it actually from me today, guys. I hope I made sense. I hope you guys got what I was trying to say, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. And of course, that's if you resonate with my content and you love it and you want to become part of the Up Close family. I would really appreciate it if you did. And yeah, keep well, you guys, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I love you.